Hello everyone, what is up? This could be probably the worst starting of any channel, but anyways, so I am Pranav Gaikwad and I am a final year undergrad student at NIT Goa, and like many others, I have a doubt. I do not have any concrete idea whether as I'm going to do a MBA program or pursue a master's in abroad or just take up a job. So I'm really curious what opportunities could I have. So now recently one of my friends got into a master's program at University of Texas in Dallas, uh, and is currently pursuing a master's in business analytics, a very new program. So as I'm curious, I thought of asking her if she could help me know the program more, and with that I could share with all of you guys also. So let us see how that goes out.
Hey Aditi, how are you?
I'm good, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. First of all, thank you for doing this on such a short notice. And how do you feel being the first guest on my channel?
I feel amazing. I'm just so blessed to have this opportunity to reach out to your audience and share my experience. So yeah, I hope to, share my knowledge with you guys and looking forward to it.
Yes, I hope you enjoy this process also. So, for our viewers, can you tell more about yourself? Basically, who are you? From where you are? From where did your schooling and undergrad? Basically,
Okay.
background check.
Overview, okay. So, hi guys, my name is Aditi Deshpande. I'm a graduate student at the University of Texas at Dallas, and I'm doing business analytics currently. I did my first semester from India virtually because due to the COVID pandemic, I couldn't go. So, yeah, I did my fall 2020 semester from here. I did 3 courses, and now in spring 2021, I'm going to go to the US in person, and I'm super excited to go and experience in-person classes. So yeah, I want to share with you guys about my coursework and how I got my internship and why I chose
Yes.
business analytics and everything else. So yeah, happy to talk to you.
Yeah. Thank you so much once again. So, yeah, first of all, why did you choose that you want to study in the US?
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, I'm a US citizen. And for US citizens, it's easier to go to the US and to settle down. So that's one of the main reasons. Because if I would have chosen another country such as Australia, UK, or Germany, I would have had to go through the whole process of applying for the visa and stuff. And I didn't want to do all that. And yeah, that's the main
So, you
reason.
didn't even apply for it.
Yeah, and the second reason is that the quality of education in the US and the professors and the research, it's something which is totally different compared to the other countries. And although the cost of education might be quite high compared to other countries, it's still worth it. I feel, in my opinion, US is the best country to go to.
And so, which background? I mean, which this you are from your undergrad? In which
So I did
department did you?
Yeah, I did my undergrad in information technology. I did it from College of Engineering Pune, COEP. For those of you who don't know, COEP, it's one of the largest engineering colleges in Maharashtra, and after IITs, it's the best in Pune. So I did information technology from there, and yeah, I did my 4 years at COEP, and now I'm in UT Dallas.
So, you mentioned you are doing your masters in business analytics. So there, since you're an IT student, there are many other courses, no? So which are more like into. There is computer science. Then there's.
Yeah.
So why did you choose business analytics?
Okay, so I always knew from the beginning that I didn't want to go into core software development because I wanted to do something which is related to business and which is related to technology. So I researched a lot. I researched about MIS, Management Information Systems. I researched MEM, Masters in Engineering Management, and Business Analytics. And after considering the pros and cons of all of these different courses, I thought that business analytics would be something which I would be good at. And also prior to this, I had a lot of experience, in leadership activities as well. So I think that considering my soft skills and considering my technical background, that this would be a good choice. And that's why I started shortlisting universities and then choosing which colleges would be the best for me.
That's great. So, in the US, how many colleges which colleges did you apply to while
Okay, so
doing
I
your
made a
research?
list in this notebook so I won't forget. So I applied to
Wow.
10 colleges, and so I applied to UT Dallas, Arizona State University, SUNY Buffalo, Indiana University, Rutgers, Michigan Tech, Illinois Institute of Technology, and Syracuse, NYU, and USC. So these are the 10 I
Wow.
applied to. And out of these 10 universities, I got admits from 8 of them. I didn't get
Wow.
it from New York University and University of Southern California. But except for these, I got admits from all 8. And I think a huge credit to that goes to, writing the statement of purpose and my letter of recommendations, which were really good. And I had written different SOPs for every single university, and that takes like a huge portion of your time, like 3 to 4 months goes in that process. So I think
Wow.
that that is very important.
8
And
out of
also the
10
way
is
the way you
very
present
good.
yourself in your applications, that is very important, because everyone has a different story, right? You can't write a same SOP for every single university. You have to do a lot of research, and I think that really helped me.
So that really like makes me wonder what kind of factors did you have in your mind while shortlisting these universities, and what else did you have? Why did you wanted to choose into this? So your 10th marks or your 12th marks, your undergrad,
Okay.
how did you
Yeah.
shortlist them basically?
So I'll give you a brief introduction of my educational background. So I did my 10th standard from Nashik, and I got 91.33%. I did my schooling in ICSE in Pravashee Academy, Nasik. After that, I did my 12th standard in science. I got 86.33%. And I had done it from a local college because I didn't have to attend. So I spent most of my 11th and 12th standard studying instead of attending college, which I think is a smart thing to do. I had chosen physics, chemistry, math, bio, PCMB, so I had a lot of load in college as well. Then after 12th, I attended COEP. So in my 4 years of engineering at the time of application, my GPA was 6.8. And yeah, that's a low GPA, I'm not going to lie, it's low. But I think that many other things covered that up, like my statement of purpose, my LORs, my extracurricular activities, and many other things. Like my GRE score is high. My GRE was 322, so I got a 167 in quant and 155 in verbal, and my TOEFL was 110, in which I got a full in the speaking section. So that is also very important, because universities really consider your TOEFL speaking section score when giving you jobs and assistantships. So that was important. So I would say if you have a low low GPA, you should focus on your GRE score and try to get it as high as possible, and also on your essays as well.
Yeah, that's right. You also said that you tried to compensate it with your extracurricular activities. So, what kind of extracurricular activities were you into?
Okay, so COEP is also known as College of Everything Pune, for those of you who know COEP. So I had taken part in a lot of extra activities. In the first year, I was part of boat club. So COEP has a boat club where you can do many things like kayaking and punting. So I was part of punt formation. Then in the second year of engineering, I took part in many activities like MindSpark, which is the technical festival. Then Zest, which is the sports festival, and ECEL. Then the third year of engineering, I was head of the entrepreneurship cell in alumni outreach. So my job was basically to lead a team of 10 students, and we called alumni and we asked for sponsorship. So also we founded Pune Startup Fest, which is the largest entrepreneurship festival in Pune. You can also search it. It has a website also, punestartupfest.in. So we did that as well, and we got recognition from the Ahuja sir, which is the dean of COEP, and also we were in Lokmat and Sakal and many newspapers. So I think all these activities really helped me in building my confidence and learning how to speak to people, learning how to get out of my shell, and that's why I think everybody should take part in some technical activity, whether it's or any leadership position. I think it's very important in building your confidence, and also, not everything on your resume matters, right? These things also matter. That's what I feel.
Right. I completely agree with that. So
Yeah.
now you're currently into which second sem, right?
Yeah, second sem.
So what kind of difference do you find in the teaching which was there in India whereas here? Now, since you're online, I know you won't have experienced that much of a interaction, but still.
Okay, so in India, there's a lot of rote learning, which I think you might agree. So what happens is the teachers come and they play some PowerPoint presentation, and then you have maybe some unit tests and then one end semester exam. So I think in India they teach how much you can learn and how much you can remember instead of your knowledge. And in the US, it's not like that. They'll teach something in class and then they'll tell you to implement it in your homework, or maybe there's some group assignments, or there's presentations, or there will be some kind of class discussion. So I think that this is very important, because in the real world, in the industry, you won't be given rote learning, right? So you'll be given many different things which you'll have to implement. So that is there. Also, I had 3 subjects. I had database foundations, I had business analytics with R, and I had advanced statistics. So for every subject, I had assignments every week. So I think that is important. And the exams were also open book. So for one subject, I had an open book exam. So I think that is also good, because then you are not forced to mug up stuff and write the same thing in the exam. That is important. And also, just the classroom teaching and learning style is very informal. So the teacher will teach as per his convenience, and you can interrupt the teacher in between and ask if you have any doubts. And also you can attend class as per your convenience. So there are many students who are attending from India, some are from China, and so there was an option where we could watch the class later as well, so we won't have to stay up late.
So generally, what time does your classes take place? Like, since you're in India, you might be having that. What time basically do you?
Yeah, so my classes used to happen at night, mostly after 12. So I had 3 classes a week. I had one on Monday, one on Wednesday, and one on Friday. So they used to happen at night, and the classes were 4 hours each.
So when would they start?
It depends. Every class was different. Usually like 12 to 3, or like 2:30 to 5:30 at night.
Wow. That's, I mean, I saw that you just told me that it was really hectic also. You had 3 assignments each week.
Each week,
So-
yes.
That really is incredible. So now, how is the internship? You told me before this that you have got an internship as well.
Mhm.
So how did it go? Could you find an internship sitting at home, basically?
Yes. So internship search is something which is really difficult, and which you should start for the first day itself. So my classes started on August 17th, right? I started looking for internships right from that day itself. So there are many sites which you can use. I used LinkedIn, because LinkedIn has so many features. It has the search feature where you can search based on location, job preference, job type, salary. And it has the in-mailing feature where you can in-mail directly to the recruiters. So I use LinkedIn. Also, you can use Glassdoor, which has reviews of companies. You can use Handshake, which is a portal for students. You can use Monster Jobs, or you can use Indeed. So there are so many options you can use. I would recommend firstly going to a career center. So UTD has a career center which helps students. You can have mock interviews or resume building tips as well. So I think the career center of your university is where you should go first, and after the career center you should go to LinkedIn. And I think that you should have different resumes for different profiles. So what I did is I made a resume for different job profiles. Like there's business analyst, then there's data scientist, then there's data analyst. So I made like 4 to 5 different types of resumes, and then according to the job description I would attach that resume with my profile. So I think that helped. And also in the job description there will be words. So you should use those words in your resume so that it will get selected by the computer tracking system.
Yes. And where did you get this internship? How was it? We want to know your experience also.
Okay. So I applied to Charles Schwab. For those of you who don't know, it's a banking company. It's a financial institution, and my internship will be in Austin, Texas. And I'll tell you a little bit about the application process. So I applied in the month of September, and after I applied, I heard back from them in about 2 weeks. Then on September 18th, I had my first interview. It wasn't an interview per se, it was just an informal discussion. So there was a recruiter and she called me, and she asked me questions about my resume, about my profile, and about whether I'm a US citizen or F1 student. And she asked me some other very, very basic questions which were not that difficult to answer. So after the first round, I knew that I passed that round. And then she told me that your next round will be soon. So then after that, I got an email from them. My next round was on October 6th. And in that round, it was very technical. They asked me very specific questions about my projects. So I would suggest each and every line of your resume is very important. So if you write that you've done a project, or you know a language, like if you write you know Python or you know C, you should know each and everything about that language, because they can ask you anything about that. So they asked me technical questions, then they asked me behavioral questions. There were some questions where I had to write the pseudocode and I had to show it to them on a piece of paper online. So that was there. And the interview lasted for 1 hour. So it was an online interview. It was conducted via Microsoft Teams, if I'm not wrong. And the thing that was special was that I did this interview at night, at 2 in the morning. So it was 2 in the morning in India, and I gave the interview at night, so it was very tough.
So you sacrificed your sleep for this internship.
Yes.
Literally. So you mentioned that they asked you whether you're a F1 student or citizen. So how do you think that had a role into getting you this internship?
I think that in every internship application, there's a question: are you an international student or not? So there, I used to always click on the checkbox that said, no, I'm a domestic student. So there are some companies which don't offer visa to students, so they prefer that you're a citizen. So I think in that case, they prefer domestic students over international students. So I think in that case, I have a little bit of an advantage. But most companies like Amazon or Google or Microsoft, they don't really differentiate between those two. So I think for those companies, it's okay.
And what is your class strength, by the way?
My class strength is about, I would say, I don't know exactly, but around 100.
100. And how is the internship scenario? Like, is it easy to get an internship? Is it hard? How is it, basically?
Yeah, it's not easy to get an internship because you have to send out so many applications. I think I applied to about 100 universities, and then I got my one internship.
My God.
So actually, for those of you who don't know, I'm a very organized person. So I made an Excel sheet, and then I wrote the name of the company, then the date applied, then the name of the contact person, and then the date of the follow-up, and email address, and everything in that sheet. And then I highlighted it based on different colors, like red, yellow, and green. So I did that, and I did that every single day in the month of August, September, October, 3 months. And I think you have to be very organized, that's all, because you can't keep track of it in your head. You have to write it down, and you have to keep taking follow-ups every single day.
There's possibility of missing even one important detail, and your one internship is gone.
Yeah.
I can understand. So how is this program all about? So do you find it, how is it basically?
Yeah, okay. So business analytics at UTD, I would highly recommend to take this program. So a little bit about my program. It's a 36-hour course. So that means you have to complete 36 credit hours to succeed in this program. Out of that, you have some core courses and some elective courses. So you have to take 6 core courses and 6 elective courses. So that's a total of 12 subjects and 3 credits per subject. So 12 times 3 is 36. So I would recommend to take the core courses in the first semester itself, and then in the second, third, and fourth semester you can take electives. So there are many electives possible. There's data science electives, there's marketing electives, there's operations, there's healthcare analysis. So I'll tell Pranav to link the description in the bio, and you can see the whole catalog of all the courses which are available, and then you can decide what your interest is, and based on that your career path, what you want to do. So that is there. I would suggest before you pursue any business analytics course, you should ask yourself, like, is this my interest? Is this what I really want to do? And the languages which I think you should learn are Python. Python is a must. R programming language, and MySQL. These are the three. Also, there are data visualization tools. So there's Tableau and there's Power BI. These two are also tools which are very frequently used for visualizing the data. And yeah, I think you should learn this, at least have a basic knowledge of this, because there are some students which come from different backgrounds, right, like civil, mechanical, so they don't have a grasp of these languages. Yeah. So for them it becomes a little bit hard in the first semester to grasp the concepts. So I think you should either try to do some personal projects or do some course from Coursera, or try to work in a team to solve some kind of problem set. Also there are websites like there's HackerRank, there's LeetCode. So you can try coding on those as well. They also add a lot of value to your LinkedIn profile, so you can add that as well. So I think you should do that.
So what was basically the main reason why you chose UTD over all the 8 admins you got?
Okay, so UTD is really good because it's a public university. So there, in the US, there are public universities, there are private universities. So public universities, the cost of tuition is less. Also, for me personally, I chose UTD because I got a 50% scholarship in the first and second semester. So typically the fee is around $16,000 per semester, right? But because of my scholarship
per year.
32 per year. So because of my scholarship, I had to pay only $16,000 per year. And so after reducing that, I also got a grant, which is the Texas Public Education Grant. So that was around $6,000 as well. So I subtracted that as well. And then after subtracting my scholarship and my grant, I took a loan for the rest of the money. So basically my parents didn't have to pay anything for the first year. And I'm really proud that I'm doing this for my own money and not my parents' money, which is something I've always wanted to do in life. So yeah, I plan to do the same in the second year as well. So I plan to do my graduate education for my own money, which is something I'm very proud of.
That's really great.
Yeah.
Your parents must be really proud.
Yeah, and I would say definitely apply for the scholarship because they consider everything. They consider your essay as well. So if you write a really good scholarship essay, then there's chances of getting a scholarship in the first semester itself.
So I'm pretty sure till now, all the viewers who are watching, many of them might be interested, like developed interest right now after watching this. So what kind of tips you could give to them before applying, or to be just well prepared before getting into this field?
Yeah, so I would say definitely you should know what you're interested in first of all. So whether it's computer science or business analytics or MEM, I would say don't go to any consultancy because they charge huge amount of fees and they don't know your interest, right? You yourself know what you want to do. So I would say just do it yourself and work really hard on your SOP. Don't get your SOP in one sitting. Spend a couple of months on your statement of purpose. And also GRE score is very important, TOEFL. And yeah, I would say just be confident in your applications. And I would suggest to apply to like 3 safe, 3 moderate and 3 dream universities. So a 9. And even if you think that you won't get admission, still apply there. Because even if there's 1% chance and you get that 1%, then why not apply, right?
Yeah, your whole life could be different then.
So I would say just yeah, 4th year is very important for applications. So just spend your time wisely and yeah, best of luck.
I guess now everyone has a very good idea about this program, and thank you so much, Aditi, for doing this, for answering all these questions. I feel like, like this will help, like even if it helps one person to make a decision, like our purpose is fulfilled. So
Yeah.
Basically, when are you going? So do you have any offline courses?
Okay, yes, that I forgot to tell you. So this semester, spring 2021, I have 3 courses. 2 of them are on campus and 1 of them is online. So I think it's better than last semester because I get experience the in-person classroom experience this semester. I have big data, which is in person, and programming for data science, which is in person, and my other class, which is econometrics and time series, that is online. So I have 3 classes, and I'm very excited about that as well.
That's
So,
great.
yeah.
So when are you going?
Yeah, I'll be going on 1st February. Actually, I was supposed to go in December, but my flight got cancelled, so now I'm going to go on February the 1st. So I'm very excited to go. 10 more days. So
Exactly. So let's meet before you go.
yes.
Okay. Chalo then. Thank you so much. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Wait. Before leaving, just hear me out for 1 second. So, this is one of the attempts which I tried making. Hope this helps, and if it does, so let me know in the comments below how you felt about it. And even if you don't like the video, you can please, like, I'm not going to tell you to like, share, subscribe like that, but if you genuinely feel, you can try it out. Okay, thank you so much.